Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Website on here is schifferbooks.com. Hopefully it illuminates enough so you can read it if you want. Feel free to freeze frame and check out that address if you want to, of course. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website here is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Feel free to check that out if you want to, of course. Whew. Virgo. Lots of ideas. Okay. Lots of ideas. What are we doing with these ideas, though? You're working on something. You're creating something. Okay. Well, I don't know. Well, these cards are pushing out of the bottom of the deck. There's a detractor here. I find this very interesting because it seems like you have a lot of ideas, and you seem to be also putting the research into these ideas. Like, Virgo can definitely be creative. It's just you won't waste your time on something if you don't think you can actually make it happen. I feel like that's like a condition of Virgo. Like, you can be very creative. Virgos have dreams. Like, I feel like people don't realize that. Virgos can be dreamy. They can dream about things, but they won't go very far with something if they don't think it can really happen. Like, it really takes something to hold them to the ground. Like, all right, I like that idea. I want to do that. But for example, you may dream about being a singer, but if you don't feel like you really have talent in being a singer, you won't really think about it that much and you won't go very far with it unless you can start bringing it into reality. It seems to be how that goes. Tell me if I'm wrong. But like, there has to be something for you to anchor it. Like, what Virgo usually dreams about are things you can actually make happen. Stuff like that. And I feel like you're working towards something. You're like, you have some dreams, you have some things you want to make happen. But the reason they're dreams of yours is because you're like, I know if I just find some information or I go a certain way, I can actually make these dreams a reality. You're very selective about things you think about. I also get that too. You're not here to waste your time. Thing is, I do feel like this parallel to Pisces, which is your opposite sign, which is very interesting. You have success the more control you have, and the more control you have is usually dependent on you doing it on your own, at least to start. You have to get like almost halfway down the road before you can add somebody else in, because once you have it established that far, it stays your vision and it doesn't become distorted by somebody else's thoughts. Okay, distorted, you know what I mean. I feel like distorted is a nice word to use for that. It doesn't get taken over by somebody else. You know what I mean? I think those of you this is going to hit with, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get if you don't get far enough down the road, people help, but then they change things to do what they want. And it might have the base of where you started, but they totally take it in a different direction. It's like you might have created the basement the way you wanted to, but like the color of the walls, the shape of the house all changes. It's, you know what I mean. I don't know if we have to really go down that road. We'll leave it where it is. So the question is, how do I move this forward and keep it what I want? You got to do at least half of it on your own. You can add people in. You can add people in later, but you can't. Whatever it is you want to happen, you have to get at least half of it done. Now, if it's something where it's like, for example, a business situation, and you're like, but I need investors. I need them to invest with this. So I can't really start building something or creating something without that investment money. Which totally makes sense, but like your business plan has to be almost finished. That would be your half. Like your business plan has to be like almost ironclad. Like, this is what's going to work. This is how I know it's going to work. I just need the backing for it. You know what I mean? Something like that. To where you have, like, a business plan is a real thing. I feel like some people don't know that. Like if you look up business plan, there's ways to create it. Things like help you figures out like what things you got to look out for, how to get the money, all this other good stuff, where you're going to do it. Like creating a literal legitimate business plan might be your half of the situation, where you have it all established, all ready to go, and you're just like, I already know what I want to do, and I have the plan all together. I just need people to invest with me so I can make this happen. Because you have to be in control here. Like, it's not... I know Virgo is usually very agreeable with working with other people. It seems like you guys usually are agreeable with working with other people. You don't want to be doing all the work, don't get me wrong. But, like, you know, helping or being a part of a situation, being a component of a situation, you're usually not against that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, of course. But in this situation, you need to lead. You need to have control. You need to be the point person. It's almost like, I'm trying to think of how this is going to work. If you have a business, like for some reason I'm seeing a construction business for somebody, which is okay, we're just going to go with it. You know where the business is going to be, where the business is going to come from, where the money's going to come from, who's going to want your services, you know how much you're going to spend on vehicles and supplies, but you may allow somebody else to research where to actually get these supplies or vehicles, whatever you need, and you might give them a budget. So you might let somebody else actually do the footwork and actually go get the stuff, but you'll already have defined what it is you need and when you're going to need it, and like how much is allowed to be spent on it, stuff like that. Does that make sense? I hope I said that right. Like, you're putting boundaries and restrictions, and you're saying, all right, this person can do this for me, but there's only this much money, and this is the type of thing. And you might be even kind of specific. I need this type of dump truck, not too big, not too small. I need these supplies, and they have to be this quality and this grade, and this. They might even be color specific, because maybe you're like, I have this job coming up, and this is what they want, so it has to be this color specific. Like I've seen people put that red chip stuff down in front of a house. Some people love it, some people hate it. So if you have a client that loves it, that's what you get for them. If you have a client that hates it, you're like, well, anything but this. It could be like that. You'll define things like that. So you may let other people move forward with certain things, but you have control. And the things you let other people do, you've already defined it a certain way, and you're like, and you've made the impression. You don't, I feel like, especially earth signs, and obviously Virgo's an earth sign, you don't just kind of like make up things as you go. You're like, this is the rule, this is the boundary, and this is why this is the boundary. You're like, and this is why this is the boundary. So you'll probably share that with whoever you're working with. Is this good, bad, or indifferent? What is this? You do seem to have a lot of support with success. I think of earth signs as typically successful, because you guys, it's Virgo, I know you're Virgo, but there's like this camaraderie with the earth signs. You have reasons and backup and stability. There's like, you have a plan that came from something. And like, you get support through success. Like, the farther you go, the more success there is. And I feel like the farther this goes, the more excited people are going to be to work with you, the more cooperative. The farther you go, the more cooperative people get, because they're seeing the success, they're seeing it grow, they don't want to lose the success. They know you know what you're doing, and the more confidence they get in you, and they just kind of follow you more. They're like, well, I'm not going to go against the Virgo, because the Virgo is why we're successful. The Virgo has been right this whole time, and we just keep doing better, so I'm not going to go against. I'm actually going to stand with and support and defend the Virgo. You're going to get that type of support. It's going to take some time. The longer it goes, the better it gets, whatever this is. I feel like Virgo is, especially, well, I'm hoping you're going to be selective about who you allow. All right, what is this? Because some people are walking away. If they're not supportive in the beginning, we don't want them. If they're kind of on the fence and you can win them over, or you feel you can win them over, that could be worth it. But if they're not supportive in the beginning, yeah, there's Judgment in the beginning and the Knight of Swords. People who automatically just want to change your plan right from the beginning, tell them, go create your own plan then, and you go do that with somebody else. Let them go do that with somebody else. The people who are kind of like, well, I don't know, Virgo, I would prefer this, but I guess we could try it. We can start that way. I don't know if I really want that, but I guess we could start that way. those that are on the fence like that, those will work. I feel like those will work because like if we start off doing it your way, they're gonna see it works, and they're gonna like it when it works, and they're not gonna mess with it. They're not gonna mess with what works, and the longer you go, the more support. So those ones are fairly good. Of course, you don't want toxic energy around you. So it depends if they really make you feel icky, or you're like, if you don't like working with whoever it is, even though they're on the fence, then let them go. On the other side, if they're fighting you, even if you like them, tell them go do it with somebody else. Do their own thing. Wish them well. Somebody wants to take control. We got to be careful of that. Yeah, somebody. If somebody's fighting you right off the bat and they want to make changes right in the beginning, send them on their way. Tell them, okay, you go do that by yourself. I'm going to do my plan with somebody else. You go do that. There's somebody around you who wants to change things right off the bat. Don't work with that one. It may be a long ending, but let it go. Let it go. It may be a long ending. What does that mean? Like, they might pester you for a while to come, but just keep them out of your business. Keep them out of the situation, because if they're trying to change it right off the bat, it means they want to take your energy and use it to their advantage. Like, they want, like, whatever it was, it's almost like you want to start out with a construction business, and they're like, well, we can do that a little bit, but there's some big things I want to change, and I want to have a food cart over here, and we can at least do that so we can do the construction and the food cart. Before you know it, you're not going to have a construction business, you're going to have a bakery. It's like, it's going to go that far. Like, I hope that makes sense. Like, you're like, I want to start a construction business. And they're like, well, I don't like how that goes, but let's do the construction and a food cart over here. Let's do both, and we'll see what one works out. And before you know it, that food cart is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger till it's a bakery, and the construction business disappears. Be careful. We don't need those big changes. They're going to snake you out of your situation. It's okay that they want to do what they want to do, but they need to tell them, all right, you want to do that food cart? You go do that on your own. That's not going to be a part of this construction business, because I'm not doing two things at once. You go do your food cart all by yourself, or find other people to help you with that. Mine's going to stay separate. I'm doing construction. That has nothing to do with food, and I'm not gonna blur the line like that. I'm not gonna do that. So you go do you. I'll stay here and do me, and that'll be cool. As long as you're loyal to yourself and you make your own view come forward, and if somebody tries to change your idea like that, it seems so little to begin with, but that's literally the first chip in the foundation that's going to destroy what you want and create what they want. And that's not okay in this situation. You should be getting what you want and make your dreams come true. Because I feel like you can have definite success here with the lovers. It's just not letting somebody else usurp or take over your situation. And they may start off looking like you're going to get what you want, but then they slowly degrade it until it goes away and they create what they want with the same energy. You know what I mean? The same effort, but except instead of being construction, they take it over to a bakery, which is so different. But like, they'll find a way to do it. I'm warning you. If this reading is hitting, take it with a grain of salt, of course. But like, think about that. Because the farther you get, if you are loyal to yourself, the better it'll be. Somebody does seem to play the poor me attitude. If you don't do it their way, and I feel like they're very verbal, very piping up about it, blah, 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 blah. No, Virgo, you're wrong. You need to do it my way, Virgo. Virgo. They're going to be poor meing it when you won't do it their way. Let them poor me it. Just walk away from it. Let them poor me themselves right into a corner. Just, get some headphones. Work in a different room, whatever you got to do, just let them be. Let them just tell them, find somebody else. Make your little food cart happen with somebody else. Because one of the reasons they want you is because they're going to try to get you to do most of the work too. Because I feel like Virgo's very good at getting things done. And they're going to try to pull you away from what you want and push you towards what they want. And they're going to get you to work more and more with what they want. No. Let them pour me themselves right into a corner. Just leave them alone. That's them. Stay to your stuff. Stick with the people who are supportive, even if they're complaining in the beginning, and they're like, well, let's try it. Well, I'll try it your way, Virgo, but I don't know if I really want to keep it that way. Those, ironically, are the good ones, because the more success they see, the more they're like, all right, you're right. So I don't want to screw up the system. So let's keep going your way, Virgo. You'll win them over time. But people who demand to change things right in the beginning, they're going to take you down. I feel like there's a lot of like fast energy here too. I'm seeing this Eight of Wands and I'm feeling it. I feel like it's obvious the way I'm talking that I'm talking very fast. Things may seem to go pretty quickly, fairly fast. I was going to say fairly and pretty at the same time. So pretty. pretty quickly. This does seem to be like a quick situation. Yeah, I don't see it upsetting you. I don't think of Earth energy as fast energy, but in all fairness, if you think about a boulder rolling down a hill, there's a lot of fast energy. When it gets up to speed, it stays up to speed. So I feel like this is also about you creating the plan. When you get up to momentum and you know what you want, you'll move forward fairly quickly because you already know what you want. You already know where you're going. So I feel like being honorable to your momentum in your direction, it's kind of like that boulder again. If you let the boulder go where the boulder wants to go, it keeps going fast and there's no problem. But if you get in the way of that boulder, then we have problems. Then we have problems. So I don't know if that made sense, but like if you keep going in the direction you want, I feel like you have a lot of great success. If somebody tries to alter the boulder's direction, that could be a problem, which I think we've talked about this whole time. All right, are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.